I hear this a lot from young people saying they had no idea there were any women in the civil rights movement. They had no idea there were any women in the Black Panther Party. Of course there were women. There were women leaders in the civil rights movement. There were women leaders in the Black Panther Party. I was the Central Committee member. I was the communications secretary of the Black Panther Party.
The persons who tended to have the most sophisticated and intellectual understanding of revolutionary concepts and ideology, and who had more maturity and sophistication in organizing skills, tended to be women. Women like Afeni Shakur, Joan Bird, Assata Shakur, Kathleen Cleaver.
There were women at every demonstration. There were women who were arrested in some of the shootouts, such as the Los Angeles office when they paraded all the Panthers out. Among the people arrested were women. There were women on trial, such as Erica Huggins, when Bobby Seale was tried for conspiracy to commit murder. So was Erica. It wasn't like the women's section or the women's auxiliary and the men Panthers. We're all in this together.
We were involved in the process of re-socializing and re-educating ourselves as black men to the contradictions of sexism in the black community.
Come on in, little brother. Come on in, little sisters. Y'all can sit down and get something to eat.
This was a powerful thing that the Black Panther Party was about. Again, with the programs like the breakfast program, the health clinic, the prisoner visitation program. I remember the sickle cell anemia program. Check this out. In 1968, the Black Panther Party, sickle cell anemia was not noted in the United States like it is today. I mean, health care is essential to your life. And to be denied health care because you don't have the money to pay is like saying, well, your life isn't worth anything. And so to have this clinic available, and the clinics that exist today because of what was started then, these clinics provide a service that is invaluable.
We were constantly 24 hours a day doing something, working with our community and supporting our community and cleaning up our community.
These are not the types of activities that are done by a gang.
Jesse Unruh, who was the treasurer of the state of California, said that the Black Panther Party was feeding more hungry children than the United States government.
As far as the food program, we went out to the merchants in the community.
We would ask them a simple question: how much of this money that you've made in your business have you contributed back to the community? And over 90% of them said zero.
And we approached them for canned goods or food or day-old bread or fresh food, whatever the case may be. So they donated. And that's how we got to serving people in the community who didn't have food or went to school on an empty stomach.
And so at 5 o'clock in the morning, you'd have to get up from the Panther pad over there and go over to this breakfast program, start up the stove and make the breakfast, and then make sure it's ready in a timely fashion. And it's a hot breakfast with the sausage and the eggs and the grits.
And if it called for us to stay there and scrub the walls and do whatever was necessary, we would do that.
We feed about 10,000 across the country each day.
Well, of course, we started our own programs too. You know, the American Indian Movement, we started, but we patterned them after the Black Panthers organizations. We had free breakfasts, we built schools, we have our own clinics. We went into, of course, communications. A lot of the things that the Panthers did, we patterned our ideas off of, you know.
The Young Lords Party and the Black Panther Party wanted every municipal hospital that serviced the poor in New York to have an acupuncture experimental center inside of their drug program. And because we were the first, we became targets. 100 policemen came to the Bronx and arrested us and took us away from the center.
When these efforts started to show a little bit of success, that's when the government moved in.
COINTELPRO was the code word for counterintelligence program, and it was a program that the FBI created in 1956 to go after the Communist Party with intentions of trying to neutralize the party, put it out of business.
In 1967, they start what became known as MH Chaos, a code word for illegal domestic operations within the United States.
We can say that the COINTELPRO was a kind of codification for white supremacy in America, because the function of the FBI was to preserve white political, social, economic supremacy in America.
Counterintelligence staff under James Angleton was not the only CIA office which was involved in illegal operations within the United States and with the general attempt to get information on the foreign hand in the protest movement. The Office of Security was another major effort by the CIA.
I've seen top secret documents from the White House authored by Nixon communicating with J. Edgar Hoover specifically about the Panthers.
Hoover had, well, if you want to call it an enemy list, had lists, but it's difficult to say what Nixon's men had. They pulled the Watergate, so I guess they could do just about anything.
The Black Panther Party was looked at as the #1 threat to the internal security of the United States of America. These are word-by-word, verbatim quotes from J. Edgar Hoover.
The year of '69, every branch and office of the Black Panther Party in one way, shape, fashion, form, or another was attacked by the power structure, law enforcement agencies, and so on.
There's people walking around out there like walking wounded, you know. It's just like they've been in Vietnam. Victims of gun battles and sieges and isolation and torture and destroyed families and dead parents. But nobody knows about them and nobody really cares. And that story is one that hasn't been told yet.
At the University of California at Los Angeles, 2 Black Panthers were shot to death during a black students' meeting on the campus last Friday.
2 FBI informants and the United Slaves had shot and killed Bunchy Carter and John Huggins on the UCLA campus.
Us organization slapped a member of Black Panther Party at the time, Elaine Brown.
Was going with John Huggins, so when she told him that somebody from the US organization had slapped her, he pulled his pistol out. This is when the 2 brothers, or supposedly Steiner brothers, supposedly steps out from behind the doors and open fire and kills John and kills Bunchy.
And the FBI agent who was controlling 2 informants was concerned that some white students might have been shot on campus.
The members of the US organization were taken from the crime scene with the FBI.
The government or whoever, Power, COINTEL, whatever, they were able to kill a party when they killed Bunchy. When they killed Bunchy, they killed the party. We just didn't know it.
It was April 1st, 1969. We were taken down to the Manhattan District Attorney's office in the wee hours of the morning after having been roused from bed by teams of machine gun-toting policemen. Gene Roberts had the dubious distinction of having been Malcolm X's bodyguard when he was assassinated. He was one of the major agents in the Panther 21 case.
They brought us all in and put us in one room. They brought Ralph White Sedan, the other undercover agent, with his sawed-off shotgun, and they brought him in with his head down like he's under arrest, took him in another room, and they had Gene Roberts sitting in another office, sitting down, looking like he was depressed, like he was arrested.